Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from. My name remains Comfort Olu Eyitayo, your regular host on the Connect with Comfort show. On this program, we aim to add value to people on business, enterprise, and personal growth. Each show is organized to feature special guests who are subject matter experts that will help us to throw more insight on the topic of the day. I'm glad to have you here with us today. You are most welcome. The topic of today is an interesting one, and it is indeed my honor to welcome you to this special topic, which is, like I said, an absolute crucial for every business owner and leader, and that is business checkup. Business checkup to ensure or you are able to determine if your business is thriving or not. Just as a regular health checkup is important for we human, so also is checkup necessary for our businesses. It helps us to make periodic and thorough assessment of our business to make sure that all the essentials for its longevity, growth, and resilience is covered. And if you consider this fast-paced and ever-evolving business environment that we operate in now, it's very easy to focus solely on day-to-day operations without thinking too much ahead. However, taking time to evaluate the health of your business, its financial stability, operational efficiency, market positioning, and ability to innovate would ensure that you are not just surviving, but also thriving. So whether you are running a small enterprise or managing a larger organization, today's session is an opportunity to diagnose the current state of your business. So in this show today, we intend to explore key performance areas, also identify warning signs that will tell us if we are doing well or not, and also provide actionable insights to help us fine-tune our strategies and future-proof our businesses. So that much we will do because we already have our guest in the house, and he will join us right after this short break. Please remain connected. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Graduates or graduates, why gives your life a design to follow? Why do you do what you do? Why are you existing? Do you know what it takes to be great? It takes the answer to the question, why?
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
You're welcome back. Thank you for remaining connected. I'm excited this afternoon to introduce to you our special guest for this show and to help us to shed more insights on the topic at hand. Our special guest is no other than Oluwafemi. So Oluwafemi, that is
Good evening, man.
fondly. Good evening. Yeah, I'm just about introducing you. Oluwafemi is an accounting graduate. He is passionate and committed to adding value to humanity. A success-driven fellow with 10 years experience in banking industry, which spans across excellent customer service delivery, e-channels, operations, and accounting. Oluwafemi, fondly called Femi Impact, is the founder and lead of Readers Forum, a social enterprise in operation since November 2009. He is committed to building a reading culture in Africa, which with the focus on building teenagers today for a better tomorrow. Fantastic. It is my pleasure, Femi, to welcome you to Connect with Comfort Show today and to appreciate all that you do and your willingness to share your wealth of experience with us on this show. Thank you very much. You are most welcome.
Thank you, man, for the
Thank you.
privilege.
Thank you. So, without much ado, we'll be going straight to our first question on assessing this very important topic. What would you consider to be key financial metrics that we can use to track regularly and the assets business health? what we can use to assess the business, our business health.
Okay, thank you once again, Ma, for privilege, and I want to say a very good evening to everyone. So regarding the assessing business health, for me, I would say the cash flow of an enterprise, of a business enterprise, is very important for you to know if your business is doing fine, your cash flow, how much cash inflow you have compared to the cash outflow. It's a very key metrics in knowing whether your business is doing fine or not. If your outflow is more than what you are bringing in, if your cost is more than benefits that you are deriving from the business, then it's not a good signal for me. Hello, man.
Okay, okay, sorry, are you done? I thought you still have a,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
No, I'm done with that.
Okay, thank you very much. That is very clear that we use the profit and even the cost to serve as metrics of measuring how well we are doing, how well our business is doing. Very, very true. How often do we need to review our financial statements, and what should we be looking at for in those reviews?
Okay. So regarding our financial statements, I would say depending on the size of the business, depending on the size of the business, for example, if you are still a very small size business, then you need to check more often if it's a weekly basis or um, by monthly. You can engage, maybe you have a friend that knows the basics of accounting. You can engage someone to assist you with the financial statements. Most of these small businesses that we see around, if they have financial statements in place, if they have, no matter how small, even if it's the lowest form of bookkeeping that they have in place, it will help them to be able to track expenses, to be able to know their income and know how to manage their funds well. So for very small businesses, I would recommend maybe twice in a month. But for the bigger businesses, you could do a 6 months or a 1 year financial review of your financial statements. Yes, ma'am. I'm done, ma'am.
Okay, so in that, are there specific things that we should look out for, or that will give us signal as to make us to know that something is going wrong, or we need adjustment either in the revenue side or the cost side? What are those signals that we can look out for?
Okay, so I would say looking at the income and the expenses parts, basically income and expenses is the key thing for business. So for the revenue side, which is also, let's say, the income, how how much sales, if you are into a business that is that's to do with sales, for example, how much income or revenue you derive from the sales compared to your expenses. For example, if you are just starting a business and your business is still very young, you are maybe 6 months or a year into business and you're already incurring staff costs. You want a sales girl, you want someone that will help you do one or two things, you are incurring additional costs. For me, at that level, the business um, is not matured enough to incur too many expenses. If you are starting a business or you're already in a business, but from your own assessment, you should know the level of expenses that you can incur that would not be too much for that level of business. So basically, our income and our expenses should be looked into critically. If you notice that your expenses is more than the income, and on your own you can't pay yourself even in the business, let alone paying someone else, then you should not consider incurring more expenses. Rather, you should look for ways to increase revenue. What do you think you can do to increase your revenue? What do you think you can do to bring in more income into the business? Then, as time proceeds, you know when you are ripe to start incurring more expenses based on the level of the business.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. As we are talking of the health of the business, one aspect of the major stakeholders to business growth or good health of the business is customers. So,
Yeah.
looking at our customers, what strategies can we implement to maintain or improve customer loyalty? Because this is what will grow our business.
Okay. To improve customer loyalty,
Mm.
definitely, customers are those that bring in the money. Without customers, there is no business. No matter how big, no matter how small, irrespective of how big or small your business is, without customers, you are just a lone ranger. Nothing comes in into the business. So, to ensure customer loyalty, number one, as a business owner, you must be able to understand your customers' taste per time. Depending on the business you are doing, you know what the customers want at every time, and put up strategies to meet their taste, to meet their needs at each time. Then, to also ensure customer loyalty, quality, whatever you are doing, whether it's service business or products that you are selling, you must ensure that quality is not something that you don't bring down. It's something that you sustain, because once the quality your customer is getting reduces, whether it's a product or a service delivery, once the customer is no longer satisfied with the quality that you are giving, the customer will not be satisfied with you. And in that way,
Okay, I think
draws loyalty
okay.
and look forward to doing business with somebody else. Hello, ma.
Yes, I can hear you. It's like we are
Okay.
having small
Sorry,
challenge
my
with your network.
yes, a call came in that was interrupting.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. So, like I was saying, the customer loyalty is based on quality. One of the things that you need to ensure you don't water down is quality. Once a customer is not deriving the kind of quality they want from you, they begin to look elsewhere. And aside from looking elsewhere, word of mouth is also something that is very important. Once the customer is no longer satisfied, it tells another customer, and your customer base begins to reduce. Instead of them referring other customers to you, they tend to reduce the customers that you already have, and that in a way reduce your customer base and reduce the
The
propensity
growth.
for you to have more customers.
Yes.
So, number one, you must know their taste. You must know how to meet their taste. Number two, you must ensure quality is not watered down. Then,
Not
integrity
compromise. Mm.
is not compromised. Yes, man. So, integrity is also another thing. We are in a country whereby your customer may not be, now I want to delve into service, for example. Your customer may not be knowledgeable about what you are offering to them. But if they see that at every time they come to you, they are sure you are giving them something that stands out, they are sure of your integrity, whether in your pricing or in whatever you're offering to them, they would remain with you. That customer loyalty is sure. But if you want to take advantage of the fact that your customer is not knowledgeable about what you're offering to them, and you, because of that, give them something less or charge them higher than the market price, in a way or the other, one day they get to know this person is not of integrity, is not doing business with integrity, and in that way they draw their loyalty to.
Okay.
So, taste, quality, and integrity are very key for me.
Thank you very much. You
Yes,
really
ma'am.
giving us a large dose of that. Thank you. We have a question from one of our audience, online audience, and it goes thus: what if high cost of equipment are involved and the loss continues but too revenue are
Also,
not too low, what is
okay.
your advice? I think that is on the last question before this one.
Okay. So regarding this question, for me, what I would advise is if cost of equipment are high but revenue are not too low, something that is not too low might still get low. So for me, I will focus on the cost aspect. If the cost of equipment are high, you can look forward to outsourcing. You don't necessarily need to own those equipment yourself. Whatever you're using to produce, you don't necessarily need to own it. You could look out for those that have the equipment, outsource the production of whatever you want to do to them. The business it comes to you, no, your customers does not know you outsource. Your own is before you outsource, you ensure you do your cross check. Well, make sure that whoever you are outsourcing to is able to deliver within a time frame. Whoever you are outsourcing to would not go down or will not do something that will reduce quality of what you provide. So outsourcing is a way to reduce cost or take off the cost of equipment from you to another person. All you just need to do is know that the person will deliver well, factor in the cost of outsourcing into your own pricing, and I think you should be fine with that.
Okay, I think that's a good advice. In addition, I want to add, in case if it is something you have to have within your organization, you can consider a lease option or lease with right to buy back later. If it's so that it reduces your exposure in terms of cost outlay at that particular time. So this is another option that you can use with what uh, our guest as advice. Thank you for that contribution, Taiwo
Yes,
Ojo
ma'am.
from Abuja. Okay, so thank you, Femi, for
Yes, ma'am.
your response on that question. Now, still relating to customers' relations or satisfaction. How do we notice any changes in customers' behavior that could impact our business's model?
Okay.
Signs or
I'll
signals. Yeah.
okay. Signs or signals to when a
That
customers.
changes in their behavior. When custom, what are those key signals that should let us know that something is of major concern from the behavior of our customers?
Okay, now for me, number one, I think we said something in line with that earlier on. Number one thing, once your customer patronage is reducing, that's a signal. In fact, for me, that is the major signal, the first signal. If, for example, a customer that patronizes you maybe on a monthly basis, you get to see that 2 months pass by, the customer has not reached out. So that should be a signal. And if you're having such, as a business person, you should reach out to such customer. Hello, sir, hello, ma. We observe that you've not been in touch for some time. We just decide to check on you and to see if business is fine. So customer patronage, once it's reducing or once you are not hearing from your customer, it's a very good signal to know that there's a changes in the customer behavior regarding your business and patronage.
Okay. Maybe in addition to that, when there are more complaints than it used to be from those type of customer or sets of customer, then it's a signal that something needs to be taken care of before it starts impacting negatively on your business. So the withdrawal of patronage, and then maybe that would have been heralded with complaints, barrage of complaints that were not happening before. So that will give us a sign, and we should respond to that quickly before it starts affecting the health of our business. So that's for customer satisfaction. If we look at operational efficiency, how can we identify the bottlenecks in our current operations and address them, because that could also uh, impact the health of our business. Bottlenecks
Okay, bottlenecks in our business, how to identify
and
um,
address them.
if there are, yes, okay, so if there are too much bureaucracies in our process, for example, we can look at how to reduce those bureaucracies, reduce our processes. For example, maybe before a final result is seen, it has to go through five persons, for example, and that is not helping delivery as at when due. That is not helping efficiency. Before man A does his own part and gets to C and B, C and D. Maybe in between, the person on the man C, the third person I mean, is not doing something right or is not doing something promptly. That's a bottleneck. So we could look at compressing the process. That's a way to address it. Look at compressing the process instead of going through five persons, we could bring it back to maybe three. That's about reducing bureaucracies. Then another bottlenecks. I would like to say, for example, if you are in a place where maybe power supply is an issue and is a bottleneck when you don't have regular power supply and you need power for your business, you could look at getting maybe an alternative to generating that power supply or changing your business location, whatever you need to do to remove any bottleneck. Every business you have your own bottleneck. You observe things that are drawing you back. Whatever is it that is drawing you back in achieving your goals, those are the bottlenecks. So you look at it. Once you observe, then you address such based on the current situation.
Okay, so how do we leverage technology to streamline operations and reduce costs?
Okay, how do we leverage technology to streamline? Okay, so now we are in the world of technology, AI. If you are doing business today and you are not employing the use of technology, you don't necessarily have to have the experts in quotes, expert knowledge in IT. You could outsource. So if you are not employing the use of IT in whatever you are doing, then for me, I would say you are not even ready for business because number one, raising the question how it will help us reduce costs. If you are doing things manually, that's more of not doing things using IT, you get to spend more. There are things that could be done with your AI, with AI tools, with computers, but if you decide to engage human capital, something that maybe you just need one person to do, you now put five persons in place, and because of your staff costs, your expenses increases. It's something that a system will do for you in a jiffy. You get five persons to do it and you increase your staff cost. um in terms of advert, for example, you you can do your advert online. You have Facebook paid adverts, you have the Instagram paid adverts, which are sometimes also expensive, but there are ranges of those adverts. So if you are going for the regular newspaper, TV, so advertise on the television now or on radio is huge cost. You don't even need that. You can just go online, do a paid advert. That's using technology. Do a paid advert for 1,000 plus or 2,000 plus for specific age brackets, target audience that relates to your customer base, those that you want to target, those that need your products. And with that, what somebody that is spending hundreds of thousands to achieve using the television adverts or the newspaper adverts, you could also achieve it. So you could, there are various ways that IT can help in reducing our cost of operation in business.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do we regularly assess our market position And what action should we take to adapt to shifts in customers' need?
Okay, I didn't get the first part, man.
How do we regularly assess our market position? And what action should we take to adapt to shifts in customers' demand?
Okay, so regarding assessing our position in markets, depending on the market where you are,
How
depending on
regularly?
your,
Mm,
yes. So for me, everybody in business, somebody is either faster than you or you are faster than the person. So it should be regularly on a daily, weekly basis. You should assess your position. If you are selling something in a market, for example, and you notice that uh, the flock of customers has reduced. Meanwhile, other people are having customers. That's, you should assess yourself. What is it that I'm not doing right? That is not letting me have this influx of customers in this same market where other people are having customers trooping. So you should assess regularly, daily, weekly, monthly, depending on the business you do. If you are a big size SME, for example, you might not be able to do a daily assessment. Maybe a monthly or quarterly assessment would fit in for that. Then talking about the second part, customers changes. Am I right, man?
yes, what action should we take to adapt to shifts in customers' need?
Okay, to adapt to shifts in customers' needs. Number one, innovation. In fact, the key thing is innovation. We must be innovative in whatever we are doing. Once customers' need is changing, you should, as a business person, look out for ways that you can adjust your operations, come up with products that would be tailored towards those customers' needs. I would like to use the banking industry, for example. You know, there was a time for those that opened Zenith Bank accounts in the early 2000s. Then not everybody could own an account. You must have good money. As at then, 50K, 100K before you could open an account. But a time came, GTB came on board, and they went into schools. It's not everybody that can afford having a 50,000 naira to open an account. They went to schools, student accounts, opening accounts. You see them, and with time, other banks started employing that technique too. You see them on the streets of Lagos with their forms to make sure they get customer. So number one, you must be very innovative. I think that's the main thing. You must be innovative. Once you observe that customer needs are changing, or that whatever you are producing or you are delivering is not fit to what the customer need at that time, you should innovate and look for ways to make your products, if it's to add something or adjust something in your product towards meeting the specific needs of your customers, it will really help.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
in all this is trying to mitigate risk. So, I will ask you, what type of contingency plans should we put in place for economic downturns, market disruptions, or unforeseen contingencies or crises?
Okay, contingency plan. That's talking about having a plan B in your business. So for me, I will first talk about um, data. Every business, in a way, you have data that you keep. So aside from having our systems, our information on our systems, there should be a backup. Depending on the business you're doing, there should be a backup that you can easily fall onto in case of an IT disaster, for example, maybe infrastructural disaster, or you have your data on a system and you use that data regularly for business. If your system crashes, your data is lost. So a contingency plan in that aspect should be maybe having an hard drive where you have your data backed up. Then talking about business proper, contingency plan. there should always be a something you can fall back to. If you are doing a business, for example, that's customers patronize regularly, you should have you might not implement immediately, but you have a second product, like maybe in your goals or in your vision board. You should have something you could fall back to. For example, if you are selling table water today, you should have something else that in case table water does not sell tomorrow, what else still in this food industry can I fall back to that I will not run out of business? If I'm selling furnitures today, what is close to furniture? What will other people need if they don't need furniture tomorrow? If I'm selling shoes today, aside from shoes, can I also venture into maybe palm slippers or different types of shoes in case patronage for this? So we should have a plan B that we can fall back to in case economic or government policies affect our present business. We have something else that we can do. Then financially, we should have savings. You don't put all your capital. You don't use all your capital at once. You have something set aside that in case there's a downturn of business or there's a policy that comes up that disturbs this business today, I should have some funds set aside that I can use to sustain my business for some time before the business picks up again. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So, in a nutshell, we should have an alternative plan.
Yes.
So that is very key. At least a fallback on plan. Thank you very much. So, how do we identify any new opportunities for expansion, partnership, or product diversification?
Okay, so talking about identifying opportunities, opportunities are everywhere. We can identify opportunities by our relationship with people. You know, opportunities are in people. There is money everywhere. Money is in meeting people's needs. Money is in places. So depending wherever you are, you need to open your eyes. I mean open your eyes, your inner eyes. I mean, you need to discover people's needs per time. Then you can't discover opportunities by being a lone ranger. You need to, for example, if you are in the food and beverage industry, for example, and there's an event happening somewhere that has to do with food and beverages, you should attend such programs, attend such events, connect, meet up with people, discuss. In the process of discussing, that's where you get insight into those opportunities at times. Somebody will just come up with an idea. If we do this in this area, this would work. So relationship is key to discovering opportunities, and I think I would leave it at that. Relationship is key to discovering opportunities, and it's also key to leveraging opportunities. You cannot be a lone ranger and you want to identify opportunities. It's not possible. So wherever you are, wherever your business exists, make research, look out for programs that are in line with your business, attend such programs, network. In doing that, you get to discover opportunities and how to leverage on them too.
Okay, we also talked about the partnership aspect. Maybe that comes from the networking you mentioned, in order for us to be able to collaborate with people on a similar line of business with us. That way, we are not reinventing the wheel all the time.
Mm.
Somebody may have done something that we can also uh, leverage upon. So I think that's another thing that we can look at. Then we also looked at product diversification. Of course, we've mentioned that in terms of allied allied products or services, sorry, that relates to our current business. When you were talking of shoe and possibly diversifying to palm uh, sneakers or other things. So that those are the things that we can still consider. So when we look at all this, we talked of business efficiency, talk of customer relationship. Another key area that is important to any business is human resources and the talents there is within the human resources. So how do we determine if our current staffing levels are appropriate for our business needs, and how can we manage employee performance?
Okay, so how to determine if our staff or human resources are missing
Current staffing.
our current, yeah, our needs. So in terms of that, I would say efficiency. How efficient is the present staff in terms of delivering results? How efficient is the staff? If there is no efficiency or if there's no effectiveness, both must come in place. If there's no efficiency, there's no effectiveness in delivering. If something that is ought to be delivered within 48 hours takes 72 hours or takes 5 days before it's been delivered, then we know that the staff, the human resources are not meeting our needs. There's no efficiency in place. Then how do we, the second part, ma?
Okay. The second part is talking about how we can manage employee performance.
Okay, so talking about employee performance, motivation is key. Training is also very important. Talking about motivation, when employees are not motivated, there's no performance that would happen. People will just come to work or come to the place of business with a mind that, imagine somebody resuming by 8 and at 8:30 is already looking towards 5 p.m. or towards closing time. There's no motivation, morale is low. So motivation is very key to look at to ensure performance. Motivation is key in terms of good remuneration and in terms of the work environment. The work environment should not be toxic. Once work environment is toxic, even if remuneration is fantastic, a toxic work environment would affect performance. A toxic work environment would make factions to be in place, and once there is factions, there will be low productivity. There will be, once people are not satisfied, once there's no motivation, performance will come down. Then aside from motivation, training is very important. Whatever we are doing, either sales of products or service delivery, we should always make sure that our employees are trained. A portion of our budget maybe in a year should go into training. That would help cost our employees to perform better. They might have been doing the work, learning curve have set in place, they know how to do it, but a place of training will help them to do better and also perform better.
Okay, thank you
Thank you,
very
man.
much. Yeah. We'll go on a short break right now and come back to take other aspects of our interview. So please remain connected. We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back. So, what strategies can we use to attract, retain, and develop top talents in our business?
Sorry, I didn't get that, please.
I said, what strategies can we use to attract, retain, and develop top talent? for our businesses.
Okay, so strategies that we can use to attract top talents for our businesses. For me, I will still go back to outsourcing. There are experts that are into employment, like they help people employ, they help companies to employ their staff. So they know what to look out for in a prospective employee in any industry. So I would say we should employ the strategy of outsourcing our talent hunts. Once you need staff, outsourcing to those that are in that line. Or if you cannot outsource, you as a person, depending on how big your business is, if you have the human resource department, you should train your human resource team, send them on training on how to get the best human talent when on a employment process. And if it's not a large company, if you are an individual, you don't have the human resource department, and you cannot also pay a company, you cannot outsource a company on your own. There are a lot of things you could learn online on how to get best persons for your business or for your job. So you could go online and learn one or two things relating to that.
Fantastic. And for the retention, that is to talk of attracting or recruitment, but retention
Okay.
and developing top talents.
Okay, for the retention, for me, I will still go back to what I said earlier on. Motivating your staff. Once somebody is satisfied, the staff turnover would reduce when there is satisfaction. But once your staff are not satisfied, then there's no retention to talk about. People would move, and your staff turnover. Once your staff turnover rate is high, your costs will also be high, because recruiting process is also a cost. You incur costs when you are recruiting new staff. You incur costs when you are training. So to retain your best talents, you need to ensure that they are well motivated. You need to ensure they are trained. You should see your workplace or a workplace as a place just like home. They spend a lot of time, about, let me say, on the average 9 hours, 8 to 9 hours at the place of work. It should not be a place where people are disgruntled. They should be a place where they find joy coming to work every day. If I find joy going to place every day, my staying there for a longer time is high. The probability I will stay there for a longer time is high, compared to a place where I go resume every morning and I'm looking forward to closing time. It's not yet 12. I'm already looking at when are we closing. I'll be looking forward to leaving. So motivation and training is key to retain our staff, our best hands. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Now we've talked about the business aspect, but another important aspect that also could affect the health of our businesses, we are talking about checkups, is the compliance with regulatory authorities and maybe legal issues. So, how can we keep up to date with all legal and regulatory requirements that apply to our business? Because they can also affect the health of our business.
Okay, so talking about regulations, it is very important that we, just like you said, very important that we comply. Compliance is key. Non-compliance to some regulations can bring down our business in a twinkle of an eye. For example, if you are a registered business, you are expected to pay tax, and you are not paying your tax, or you don't even know when you're supposed to remit your tax. If a tax is supposed to be remitted maybe in the second week of a month, and you are not remitting at that time, you are delaying further, you get to pay fines. And that in a way affects your business, because the fines would increase your cost. So to ensure compliance, number one, we must be up to date with those regulations, especially when we know that things could change. We must be up to date. If you are in business, your attention to news in relation to regulations about your business, standard organizations, tax should be you should be up to date with news, with happenings, so that you don't get ignorant about what you should do, because ignorance is not an excuse. So if you know what to do, you'll be able to comply. Then you should also employ, you can employ advisors. Maybe if it's in tax, a tax advisor, for example, would know what to do part time. So if your business is big enough that you can afford to employ a tax company to take care of your tax aspects, you don't need to worry yourself about updates so much. They know what to do. You just make sure that you put your heads on ground too. If it's in every area, you just either you keep up to date yourself, or you engage the service of someone in that line and make sure that you have information, because without information you cannot comply. So, and to ensure you comply, make sure that things are done when it's supposed to be done. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. We have a very useful contribution from one of our online audience, Dr. Ibela saying from Abuja, as to the last question but one about retention of staff. It goes thus:
Yeah.
corporate culture, career progression, and reward system are key to staff retention. So these are very useful tips that we should uh, bear in mind in trying to retain our best hands, and then also to encourage them to stay with us. Thank you very much for that contribution, Dr. Asen from Abuja. So I wish we can go on. Time does not permit. So I want to appreciate our special guest for today, Femi Olukayode. Very grateful for the great insights that you've been able to share with us, and brought about on this very interesting topic that relates to our business health. We appreciate you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll quickly go to wrap up session and conclude the show. We started by looking at introducing the topic. We started looking at what is important for us to do and how do we link this business checkup with what we normally do with our own personal checkup. That is trying to make sure that everything is okay with our business for sustainability purposes. And part of that, we started with the financial health evaluation, which we have talked about profit, increasing the revenue line, and as best as possible, reducing the cost. We've also talked about operational efficiency, which makes us to examine how we evaluate core business processes for effectiveness and productivity. Therein, we talked about avoiding or minimizing bottlenecks. We also talked about customer and market positioning. Customer relation, we believe it is key. Without customer, we don't have business. So customer satisfaction should be top priority for us, and we must always get feedback to enable us to know our market position in terms of market share, in terms of how well we are performing in the market. We talked about human resources, that's within our staffing, the staffing level that is appropriate for our business, or the particular stage the business is, the level of staff that we require. With the help of technology, we can reduce uh, overhead cost of staff if we employ tools that technology is affording us to use. And then we talked about how to retain best hands. Best hands, we need to train them. We need to make the uh, condition very appealing to them. The environment should not be toxic, and the contribution that Dr. Asen just gave is also very, very important. the reward system and all that will make us to retain our top talent, and then even encourage others through them to come and work with us. We talked about risk management and compliance. Anything that could pull the rug under the feet of our business, we must try to avoid. We must assess our current business risk, both financial, operational, regulatory wise, and then we must make sure that we comply with regulatory um, conditions for our own industry, the industry where our business operates. We must be tax compliant so that we don't have any surprises from the government angle that could jeopardize our business health. Innovation and growth is also very key these days. That is what everybody employ in their businesses to make sure that they grow. Innovation is very key. So we must always be ready to pivot, to reinvent and do things better than we used to do them before. So we foster a culture of innovation and continuous improvement within our business organization. It's advantageous for us to use tools that technology provide for us. Some of them we can get free so that it will enhance our efficiency as well as productivity. Sustainability is very key. All this that we've been talking about business health points towards sustainability. It's when our businesses are healthy that we can talk of growth. And when we talk of growth, we are talking of sustainability. So we'll continue to monitor our progress as we go along and be ready to adapt to needed changes. So as we wrap up this conversation because of time, I want us to look at doing regular business checkups for our business. We've all realized now with the discussion we've had today the vital roles this plays in the long-term health and success of our businesses. Just as we go for our own medical checkup every year, we should ensure both personal well-being as well as business well-being. So our diligence in assessing the health of our business is very important. The business environment is constantly evolving, and challenges, both economic and technological or even market-based challenges, will continue to test our resilience. But by being proactive, regularly evaluating our financials, operations, customer satisfaction, and market trends, we can make informed decisions that strengthen our position and increase our chances of not only surviving but also thriving. So we must remember that a business checkup is just about identifying problems. It's also about recognizing opportunities for growth, improving efficiency, and fostering innovation. I'd like to appreciate all our online audience for sparing time to connect with us today, and our regulars, Taiwo Ojo from Abuja, Dr. Aseyin also streaming from Abuja. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you for your contribution to the topic today. Till I come your way again, let us commit to making business assessment a routine practice. Ensure that we are always one step ahead in maintaining the vitality of our businesses. Thank you and God bless you.